Hey everyone, it's your host Tony Moore for AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, and we have the interview of the century. We have my pretend mother, Miss Aloma Wright, who you know as Maxine. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, so I have to give you a little backstory to hashtag Maxine Sun.
Okay.
So on our show, Dishin Days, I've tried to figure out a way on how I could become a part of the cast. And I said the best way would be for me to play your son.
Okay.
And everyone is totally on board with that.
It seems that way. It does seem that way. And that would really work well if I was working on the show. But I guess you could be on there without me.
Well, you know what? We'll do this. I'll come on to the show, and I'm looking for you, and they bring you back onto the show. So that way...
Hear that? Letter writing time.
Yes.
Emails.
Yes.
Tweets. Texts.
Exactly. If we're going to make this happen,
yes,
we need you guys to talk about it.
Definitely need you. Nothing happens without y'all. Trust me.
Now, really quick, let's talk about your character, Maxine. The fans love when you are on the show, and it was actually only supposed to be like a short one-day thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I first came on the show in 2008, had a terrible time trying to say this one medical word that I had memorized incorrectly, and I took 5 takes, and I don't think I ever got it right, and I thought as I was driving home, they're never going to ask your behind to come back to this show again. But I had memorized it, and I couldn't unmemorize it, and so then it was a year. It was a year later, in 2009, when they started calling, and I, by that point, had moved to Georgia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so every time they would book me for a show, I would already have a plane ticket back to Georgia. And finally, I had to say, I really have to let y'all know that I moved to Georgia. And they were like, well, do you want the job? And I was like, of course I want the job.
Yeah.
And they was like, well, would a raise help? I said, and it would. So that was that, and I had been on there ever since, and up until recently, you know. I mean, I haven't been on in about 7 months, but I'm not sitting around twiddling my thumbs either.
Right. No, I have to say, you are a very busy woman. You are, yes, and I actually remember you before Days on a little film called Kingdom Come. It was a very small part, but it was the most funniest part. And I mean, there were many, but your part was just it's so you.
You know, interestingly enough, there's a very funny story behind that piece, because I did what's called a director's test for Kingdom Come.
Okay.
And it was a different director altogether. I wonder if I should say his name. I don't think so, because he works.
Right.
But he did not get the job. So the person that they gave the job to wanted to bring his own cast.
Yeah.
And so I heard that they were going to do the film, and I called the producers, and I said, what's the chances of me getting to audition for the role that I did in the director's test? And they said, well, actually, you're the only person that we're bringing back from the director's test.
Wow.
And it was not the same role that I ended up with, I'll just say that.
Okay.
And it was clear to me that the director wanted the person that he put in that role, and I was fine with that. I was like, well, you know, she's comfortable with everybody here, and I don't know these people, so it's fine. But it was a very interesting journey, and it has been a journey from that point on, because that was one of the early ones that I did, and I think I was doing The Brothers at the same time that I was doing that, and The Brothers was such a different experience altogether, because Gary Hardwick put me in all of his films. So he was my buddy. He was like one of my first buddies in the business that made sure that I worked and supported my career, and so it's been a journey.
Well, listen, you are doing amazing, and you're on a show currently right now, right? Oh, excuse me. She's not on one show, y'all. She is on 2. So tell us about it, because when I say this, fans absolutely loved the character of Maxine. So I want them to continue to support you and continue to show you love. Also, make sure you continue hashtag Maxine Sun. But let them know what other shows that you're currently doing.
Well, currently I am shooting Suits, which is currently in its last episode of the season, but it hasn't aired yet. It'll start re-airing in January with the last 6 episodes. So I did 9 out of 16 episodes for them.
Wow.
And Thursday I went to work on The Soul Man, which I actually worked on last season and knew it was recurring. But when they came back for me to do the last of the second episode, I was already working on Suits, and so there was a little conflict in the schedule.
Yeah.
But I just prayed, and I was like, Lord, let them come back and get me
Yeah.
in the new season, and they did. So I'm working on Soul Man now with Cedric.
Well, there you
And
go.
you know I was his mama.
Yeah. Well, listen, we are on a campaign. You are gonna play my mama too. Hashtag Maxine Sun is in full effect, y'all. So make sure you tweet, email, whoever you got to do, because we are gonna make this happen.
And I'm gonna tweet before I leave here that I met my son.
I love it. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful experience to finally sit here and meet with you. I know.
Introduce yourself to me.
Yes, and actually, I got a tweet earlier today, and other fans had spotted you, and they said, Tony, I've met your mom. So there have been some tweets there too. So fans are behind it.
Wonderful. Good.
Well, continue being blessed and continue working, and we look forward to we look forward to all the things that you have coming up.
All right.
Thank you, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you very soon on Dishin Days.